to the next exciting segment of the summit. It is now my great pleasure to introduce a visionary leader who has been instrumental in shaping India's digital and startup ecosystems. We are privileged to have with us Shri B.V. Naidu, Chairman of the Karnataka Digital Economy Mission, founder and managing partner at startup Xseed Ventures. Today, Mr. B.V. Naidu will be sharing a compelling keynote on the roadmap for creating DeepTech Andhra Pradesh and positioning AP as a leader of India's digital technology ecosystems. This is a topic that resonates deeply with our collective goals of innovation and digital transformation. So let us all join our hands together to please welcome Shri B.V. Naidu on stage. Welcome, sir. Some more energy, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. After seeing the crowd here and also morning session is over, I thought I'll not run this presentation. If possible, I think let's make it a little more interactive. If that is okay, I don't want to just bore with speaking. Let's make it a little more interactive so that I could be able to relate what you people think and in what direction we need to move. Is that okay, guys? Yeah. So, one simple question. How many of you believe that India can become a developed nation by 2047? Everyone? Even before that? Yeah. So, what AP should be by then? Pioneer. How much of the, you think how much economy can be contributed from Andhra? 2.5 trillion, that's fine, but is it in terms of the percentage? Because the figures for 2047, all India level, we may be at $32 trillion or $35 trillion. So, if it is a 2.7, is still less, right? For AP should try to reach probably 3 trillion or a little more. Do you believe that it can happen? Right? How many of you are committed entrepreneurs here? I expect a lot more. I've been telling the people, because this session is more on the deep technology, I wanted to tell the people there are more and more opportunities coming. India, we reached probably around $4+ trillion right now, and then IT contribution is around $350 billion and maybe a little more. And startup ecosystem has started growing. We are the third largest startup cluster in the world and continue to grow. In the startups, what happens is getting the initial funding is the toughest thing, right? You all believe so? It's a tough, right? But the moment the company becomes successful at Series A, Series B level, people are willing to put the money. That means there is more risk at the beginning, there is less money in the beginning. That's where you need to perform and showcase what can be done for the future, right? Just as a comparison, last 10 years, at the seed level investments in India are only $6.5 billion. Later growth level, it is a $35 billion. And then, scale up level, they are $105 billion. It's an absolutely, why a bigger company who is already successful, people want to put the money? Because they want to multiply their money much faster. But the challenge is at the seed level, as I mentioned, and also seed level deep tech companies, people shy away. They don't invest money at all. Only now, there are some VCs started putting the money at the seed level and the deep tech. There are challenges. I want to tell you, I run a venture fund called Startup Xseed. We started 7 years back or 8 years back. We are the very few funds during those days where we are invested into the deep tech. We invested into cyber security, we invested into the drones company, we invested in the silicon IP, we invested into the very, very high technology company. The lesson what we learned and what other funds also followed is, in the deep technology you can get an early exit. In other companies you have to keep running the company, keep running the company, keep running the company. Right? We invested into a silicon IP company, a small silicon IP company. It is not even 5 people, 6 people company. They grown to 25 people company because of that IP, because of the silicon IP that got acquired by Luxshare, who is a OEM for Apple. The message what I am giving here is, don't try the deep tech IP oriented companies. While they have the risk, it also has its own advantage of getting acquired much faster. We invested in a company called CloudSec and in cyber security company, and there is one more company, I forgot that got acquired by Radware. It is just a 30 people company in cyber security, got in Radware. All these exits happen in 18 months. One company in 18 months, another company is 22, 23 months. Right? And the money what we invested, we not lost. We got a 3x multiple in 18 months, and the other one is a 4.5x in 22 months. So that is the power of deep tech. And you are in our country, we have a lot more advantages. People wanted to develop some technology which is very relevant to the Indian ecosystem. If you succeed, because our markets are very complex, right? The price points are very, very, sensitive. If you are able to find a solution, a deep tech solution like Gunaniji was mentioning, and the fisherman, solution, probably that has a lot more impact, the social impact it can create, but also can create a lot more value for your investments. But I told you, the challenge is getting the money. This is where I've been advocating to the government and talk everywhere that the government needs to put little more money at the seed level. And this is what I was telling Lokesh Garu, that a seed fund or a innovation fund should get created so that the money would be available to the smaller startups. At the same time, the industry also should come forward. I know AP has a lot of HNIs, and these HNIs put the money only in the real estate or in the other infrastructure project. They should allocate some money where they should put the money into the venture funds, start getting the fruits out of that. That's what we need to look for. From Vizag perspective, I always believe, as I told you, I'm a strong believer of the talent that is this part of the country has produced, and this talent is there across the world and across India. 70% of the people, professionals in Hyderabad, I believe, are from this part of the Andhra. 30-35% of the professionals from Bangalore are the professionals from here. And the US, I told you, more than 60-70% of professionals are from this region. But why all these guys are keeping quiet? Now, when something is happening here, I expect all the professionals to come and talk to all of you here and see how they can help AP to grow in terms of the economic impact. At the same time, they will also get benefited. I've been telling this US, staffing company, the number of companies are there. You guys need to look back and see, come and invest in India. India can provide a lot better opportunities than in US. Than US stock markets. The money, what they have in US, if they bring here, they can multiply that money much faster than what they could have done in US. That's what I've been telling this. And I was also interacting with Ravi, right? AU incubator. Where is Ravi? He's gone out, he was telling me that there are 65 companies in that incubator, and as an incubator, he successfully made that incubator not just a self-sustained model, but also, as a long-term, profits making incubator. Not many incubators can create the profits, right? So we have the services industry, we've proven, we reached $350 billion. We have a ESDM, Electronic Systems Design and Manufacturing. As you all know, this is one of the sector doing extremely well. And there are companies like the MOS chip companies like the Keynes Technology, their public markets, they are trading at 150 times of the EBITDA, 200. There are few suggestions I gave to Lokesh Garu, apart from creating the seed fund, and we also need to create a public-private partnership ecosystem. It is so that it not just the government runs these things, but also industry leaders come along with the government to make sure that the industry could grow here. So the academicians, industry leaders, and the government need to work together in a long-term mission. This mission is very important. Otherwise, the deep technologies, they still remain in your labs. They will not see the value outside, and they need a lot of GTM support. And probably the government should also open up how the government opportunity can be made available to the startups that are coming up here. So I was talking to Kavita and Director STP Hyderabad and Suresh. Suresh, where are you? They had created a nice incubator here, Kalpataru incubator, right? So I was talking to a few of the companies. Most interestingly, I think they could able to get 6 crores from the grant from the public sector companies, so that these startups can find the solutions for those problems in the public sector. How can you make a public sector innovate anything? They can't innovate. They have the money, they cannot innovate. And there are, I met a company, this guy is, finding some solutions to the steel plant problems. Likewise, IOCL, HPCL may have some problems. Somebody need to collate all those problems, throw up as a challenge, and that challenge needs to be supported by the government and the funds like that. That is how we can make that innovation that exists with the startups will be of great useful to the public sector companies here. This is from the public sector point of view. Likewise, Lokesh Garu talked about the drones and the aviation and Navy. There is a naval R&D here. There are companies who are working on the space technology. There are companies who are working on the naval technology, companies who are working. All of them can come back here. If you are able to create a right ecosystem, Sridhar Garu, where are you? Yeah, he is not there. So, if you create a right ecosystem along with the government, and I'm sure that, everybody could see some value. Unless there is a value, nobody will come here. You need to create that magnet here. The magnet is in the hands of the industry, in the hands of the government. And that magnet, you need to make sure that can attract the people. The reason why I was telling these challenges, social challenges, throw open the challenge to the startups. PSU challenges, throw open the challenge to startups. Defense challenge, throw open the challenge to the startups. Cyber security, silicon, whole lot of things. Generative AI getting into every sector here, and it is just as you need to come back, identify the problem and go before the startup, and these startups are ready to find the solutions for that. Sridhar Garu, I was telling that you need to be the glue, bringing the industry, academia and the industry together and do some challenges. And also I was telling Ravi and Kavita Garu that, maybe once in a quarter, you arrange a very focused startup event where the startup companies come and talk to the investors and the industry leaders. Basically, creating a startup is not just finding a solution. After finding the solution, how will you make sure that you can scale it up? How will you make sure that you can market well, not just in India, globally? How will you make sure that you finally see an exit of the company? That is the whole journey. In the whole journey, there are different steps that are there, and different industry experts, they can support you. So with these few words, thank you Sridhar Garu for inviting me here. It's a fantastic initiative. Whatever the little support that you might need feel free to reach out to me. So as I said, I'm always available to my Janma Bhumi. Even though I am in Karnataka, I'm always available to you. We'll be happy to come back and support you people. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Naidu, for your thought-provoking address and questions in the beginning. Your insights into fostering deep tech ecosystem in Andhra Pradesh are both inspiring and actionable. From the audience, does anyone have some questions? We can take 1 or 2 quick questions if you have a question for Mr. Naidu. Yes,
I wanted people to be more
he has questions.
proactive. Yeah.
Sir, it's great talking, but one of the major problem, right? So when you talk about steel plant companies and IOCL and HPCL, right? It would be great if government takes an initiative by giving those challenges that they face it. Because otherwise it's becoming very difficult to enter into the border of the steel plant or anything.
Absolutely. That's what I was telling. They need to collect all the problems that are available in steel plant, all the problems in HPCL, and throw up a challenge to the entrepreneurs. You're right. I think that's what they will do that.
Called Payzo. We are developing an app called Payzo. So
What?
as I heard,
What app?
Payzo, Payzo.
Oh, Peugeot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've heard a lot about seed funding. I've been browsing on Google. I've been searching everywhere for investors. But what have you spoke today has given me confidence that I'll definitely find someone who can invest in my startup.
Absolutely. If you have a value, people will come behind you.
Yeah. So I don't know if I can ask this right now. Could you be able to give me 10 minutes after the meet?
Yeah. You can meet me a little later after this.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Country has such a beautiful digital infrastructure for the the payments and all that. Our UPI, all of you know, in a month, 16 billion transactions would happen, and probably altogether is a value of $350 billion. No other country has such volumes. Even if you combine US, Japan, and Europe, you don't have so much of value. You can
Everybody in this hall and outside, we want innovation. But we see the engineering colleges where thinking is prohibited in the classrooms and outside the classrooms. And we have huge expectations on the country to innovate. But the students or the engineering colleges they don't have the right ecosystem to innovate. That is a big...
No, I agree with you. That is one of the suggestion I gave to our Minister Garu, that there is to be helped and supported. You need to create some framework. Maybe Shri Garu should think about...
Let me complete, sir. And most of the MIT professors, they do a lot of research work, and at the end of their work, they start a company and they earn billions. In Indian cases, we don't do that sort of work here, but still we want to innovate. There is some paradox, which how to overcome this.
There is definitely a paradox, and there has been a huge gap between academicians and the industry. And it used to be much worse 20 years back. Slowly the things have improved right now. In triple ITs, there are a lot of startups coming, innovations in the triple ITs are coming out of their campuses, right? And likewise in IITs, a lot of innovation from IITs are coming out. IIMs has a lot of incubators, and that there is definitely a problem. I do not have a very straight short solution for that. You need to start working. One of the reasons why I requested the Lokesh Garu is to fund this Center of Excellences in the Engineering College. Maybe you could focus on one area and go back and submit proposal to the Government of India as well as the Government of AP. You could get some funding to do that sectoral innovation in that sector. That's one of the solutions, but it's a larger problem. You need to get connected to the industry.
Actually, I see this trend where the startup's ability is not what is being checked, rather it is the startup's experience of doing something in past is being checked. And say for example a technology which is like 2 years, 3 years old, right? And asking a RFP like this is the kind of revenues you should have, or this is the kind of number of projects of past which you should have, which is not realistic, or which is, and the gap is again lack of awareness. So should the way we look at startups and evaluate startups, and it is not at the seed stage you are betting on the technology, rather you are betting on the co-founding team, right? Which is, so is it based on experience we are kind of driving the startup ecosystem? But what I feel is, should we seriously look at the abilities and relevance of the startup and the founding team's capacity to drive the ecosystem?
Yeah, all that is seen by the venture capitalists when they put.
We have everywhere. We can get in, Google, or there are so many YouTube videos. But for this special,
This also you have. You go to the IVCA website. There are 800 VCs are listed there.
Okay.
The small, big, and medium. Probably if you know some people, you can do that.
Thank you, sir.
Any other last question? Yeah.
One last question, ladies.
Good to constructively disrupt the current education system, or incrementally work on to go to the next level, or something that's
Which startup? What type of startup?
EduTech.
EduTech. Yeah.
I would like to question that, is it good to constructively disrupt the current system of education? So we are aspiring to become 2.7 trillion, or all over the country we are aspiring to become 30 trillion or something of that sort, right? If you go incrementally, we may not reach that point. I visualize something of that mentality, right?
You can go ahead and disrupt. Who is stopping you?
So for that I might need some approvals from the government or policy changes.
No. Nothing is needed. Nothing is needed. Don't. No. You create all there are so many edutech startups are there, from Tutor Vista to the, there are a lot of other startups.
Tutor also, I think that's something of incremental stage, right? I am thinking that constructive disrupt the entire system of education, then Uberize classrooms or something like that.
You cannot disrupt through the government,
Some policy arrangements, right? I don't know how to get over that stuff.
Maybe I will understand little offline.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
My question is, you in your capacity as chairman of KDEM. So my question is that in public perception, we all understand Bangalore is the leading tech destination, and when it comes to startup innovation also, I think it is the same case. So if Hyderabad and I come from Hyderabad, so we keep on hearing Hyderabad is trying to take over Bangalore, or maybe trying to do better. Now Vizag is also joining race. So what would you advise to Hyderabad and Vizag? What are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things that they need to do to come to the level of Karnataka?
See, not only Karnataka, all this are available. Somebody should study and see what is the best suits for Vizag and do that. Maybe I'll ask industry leaders to do that. And second thing is, the startups in the Tier 2, Tier 3 cities are going to create a larger buzz. Otherwise, we started this program called Beyond Bangalore, where we identified 600 startups coming from 3 or 4 other clusters in Karnataka. And all of them, they were lying low, sitting in their own Hubli, Dharwad or some places. Suddenly they got some focus and they're all growing now. Okay, I think the time is over, so offline you can take any other question. Thank you.
Your dedication to empowering startups and shaping the future of digital technology in India, and your message for startup, focus on your business and solving the problem and the rest follows. This is truly compelling, sir. Thank you so much. May now request Ms. Lakshmi Mukkavali ma'am from Patra, our diamond sponsor, to kindly come up on stage to present a token of appreciation to Mr. Naidu.